Live from Fox 23, this is Good Day Maine.
Good morning and welcome to Good Day Maine. On this Wednesday morning, I'm Jennifer Long. Jeff Peterson is off today.
And I'm Jennifer Lynch. So glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday morning. We are heading right outside for your first. Thank you, Craig. New mothers know getting your baby to sleep can sometimes or always be a challenge, especially around the 4-month mark. Well, it turns out there is actually a legitimate reason for this change in your newborn's sleep habits. It's called the 4-month sleep regression. There are some things you can do to help your child get through it. Jessica Begley, the Baby Sleep Geek, is here with some advice. What is a 4-month sleep regression?
Yeah, so there are always regressions in sleep. They're quite common, but the 4-month sleep regression is actually not a regression at all. It's a change in the way your baby sleeps. So your baby is sleeping less like a newborn and more like an adult, and this can create some problems. We see difficulty falling asleep at bedtime, and then those frequent night wakings start to increase.
I have a son 14 months old now. I never even heard of this before, and now looking back, it sort of makes sense around the 4-month. But why does it impact sleep so much?
So there's two things that are happening physiologically with your baby's brain during this period of time. The first thing is that it's taking longer for your baby to fall into deep sleep. So a newborn falls into deep sleep fairly quickly. You could rock, nurse, or bounce your newborn to sleep and put him down in his crib and he stays to sleep. With a 4-month-old and older, this process takes longer. They take longer to go from awake to drowsy to asleep, upwards of 45 minutes. So you literally have to be rocking, nursing, or bouncing your baby to sleep for 45 minutes. If you put them down before they're in deep sleep, they'll startle awake. And you have to start the process all over again.
Yes, we all know that very well.
There's another change too, though. This is a change in how your baby sleeps at night or through the night. And so a baby who's over 4 months old spends more time in deep sleep, which you may think, well, they probably should be sleeping better then, but the opposite is true. Those normal arousals that happen at night, even we have them 4 to 5 a night, are drastically different to them because there's more of an obvious difference between that awake and that deep sleep. And so they're waking and expecting to have whatever helped them fall asleep be repeated.
Could this be a growth spurt?
That's a really great question. Growth spurts happen, and we certainly want to respond to them and respect them. And we do see some 4-month-old have an increase in night feedings, and we want to respond to that. But if you're nursing your baby, every 1 to 2 hours all night long for a week or more, then there's probably something else going on besides a growth spurt. It's probably some sort of a sleep association.
What can you do to get through this?
The most important thing to remember during this time period is to work on drowsy but awake. So starting to put your baby down when they're drowsy, not when they're fully asleep. And this will allow them to be comfortable with that sensation of falling to sleep. And there's 2 periods of time that are easiest to do this, and that's usually the first nap of the day and bedtime. So I say start with that.
Is it a good time to sleep train during this 4-month regression?
Yeah, so 4 months is the youngest age you'd want to do any sleep training. So this is a time that you could start that. But I would start with drowsy but awake, and if that's not working or you're not seeing any progress and it's difficult to sustain those all-night nursing marathons or waking frequently, then you can start with some sleep training. Usually some gentle methods work well.
Very interesting topic this morning, something that many parents are curious about. Jessica, founder of the Baby Sleep Geek, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.